You spent real money on your backyard patio. You watched the videos, saved the ideas, maybe even copied a few designs that looked perfect online. But now, a couple of years later, something feels off. You're not using the space like you thought you would. It looks fine, technically, but it doesn't feel right. And the worst part is, you can't quite put your finger on what's actually wrong. So let me ask you, when was the last time you genuinely enjoyed sitting out there without thinking about what you'd change? Welcome to Timeless Gardening, where we cut through the trends and focus on what actually works in real outdoor spaces. In this video, I'm walking you through 10 backyard patio features homeowners are seriously regretting in 2026, and more importantly, what you should be doing instead to avoid wasting your money. Some of these are incredibly common, and chances are at least one is already in your space. So before you make your next upgrade, let's start with number 1. The first patio mistake is the oversized concrete slab. It seems like the safest choice when you're building a patio. It's durable, it's low maintenance, and it gives you a big open area to work with. But once everything is in place, that wide, unbroken surface starts working against you. The space feels flat, exposed, and strangely empty no matter how much furniture you add. There's no structure, no sense of flow, and nothing visually anchoring the area, so it ends up feeling more like a parking pad than a place you actually want to relax in. And it's not just about how it looks. Large concrete slabs, especially lighter or polished ones, reflect heat and sunlight in a way that makes the space uncomfortable during the day. They also show stains quickly, and can become slippery when wet, turning what felt like a practical decision into a constant annoyance. What actually works better is breaking that space into defined zones. Even simple changes like outdoor rugs, planters, or mixing in different textures can reshape how the patio feels without tearing anything out. Because once your space has structure, it stops feeling empty and starts feeling intentional. Patio mistake number 2 is the full matching outdoor furniture set. You've seen it everywhere. The sofa, the chairs, the table, all perfectly coordinated in the same color and finish. It feels like the easiest decision to make, because everything already goes together. But once it's in your backyard, it starts to feel more like a showroom display than a real lived-in space. Everything matches so perfectly that it loses character, and instead of feeling relaxed and personal, it feels staged and a little lifeless. Have you ever sat in a space like that and felt like you couldn't fully settle in? The bigger issue shows up over time. Those matching sets almost always come with thick cushions that demand constant upkeep. Every time it rains, you're dragging them inside. They fade under the sun, start to mildew if you forget them out, and within a couple of seasons they look worn out even if the frame is still solid. What works better is mixing pieces intentionally. Combine different materials like wood, metal, or wicker, and tie them together with a shared color or simple accents. It gives your patio depth, personality, and flexibility, and it usually costs less than buying everything in one go. Patio mistake number 3 is the bare-bones pergola with no cover. On the surface, it feels like a smart upgrade. It adds structure, makes your patio look more finished, and gives that clean architectural look you see in design photos. But once you actually start using the space, the problem becomes obvious. Those open slats overhead barely block the sun, so for most of the day that shaded area is still flooded with direct heat and light. What looked like a comfortable retreat quickly turns into one of the hottest, least usable spots in your backyard. Most people don't realize this until the first stretch of really hot weather hits, and suddenly the space underneath becomes somewhere you avoid instead of enjoy. The difference in 2026 is simple: coverage. Whether it's a retractable canopy, adjustable louvers, or even a basic shade sail, adding a layer of protection turns that structure into a functional outdoor room. And the best part is you don't need a full rebuild to fix it. Even a simple fabric cover can dramatically improve comfort, giving you more usable hours outside without spending a fortune. Patio mistake number 4 is the built-in outdoor kitchen. It looks like the ultimate upgrade. Stone counters, a sink, a fridge, maybe even storage, and a built-in grill. It sells this idea of effortless outdoor cooking and entertaining, like you're stepping into a luxury resort every time you walk outside. But in reality, most of these setups don't get used nearly as much as people expect. You end up defaulting back to your indoor kitchen, while that expensive outdoor space sits there looking impressive, but mostly untouched. And over time, the downsides start to show. The fridge can develop odors, plumbing becomes a maintenance issue, and exposure to the elements wears everything down faster than expected. On top of that, it locks your patio into a fixed layout, making it harder to adapt your space later on. What works better now is a flexible setup, a quality grill, a movable prep station, and simple storage that you can reposition when needed. You still get the function, but without the cost, maintenance, or long-term commitment that turns a great idea into a regret. Patio mistake number 5 is the misplaced isolated fire pit. It's one of the most popular backyard additions, and on its own it feels like an easy win. You pick up a fire bowl, set it down somewhere on the patio, and expect it to instantly create that cozy social atmosphere. But when it's not properly positioned or integrated, it does the opposite. It ends up feeling random, like it's just sitting there without a purpose. There's no clear place to gather, no natural flow, and instead of pulling people in, it creates this awkward space where everyone is standing around, shifting positions, trying to figure out where to sit or how close to get. The issue isn't the fire pit itself, it's the lack of structure around it. Fire features work best when they anchor a defined zone, where seating is intentionally arranged to face and engage with it. Without that, it never becomes the focal point it's supposed to be. And if it's placed directly on grass, it brings another problem, slowly damaging the lawn underneath from repeated heat exposure. What works better is creating a simple, deliberate setup, a small gravel base, a circular seating arrangement. Even just 4 chairs placed with intention can completely transform how the space functions. When the fire pit is properly framed, it stops feeling like an afterthought and starts becoming the reason people actually gather. Patio mistake number 6 is all-over decorative gravel with no structure. It's often sold as the ultimate low-maintenance solution. No mowing, no watering, just spread it out and you're done. And at first it can look clean and modern, but when gravel takes over the entire space, covering seating areas, pathways, and planting zones without any variation, it quickly starts to feel flat, cold, and repetitive. There's no contrast, no focal point, and nothing that guides the eye. Instead of looking designed, the yard ends up looking unfinished, like something is missing but you can't quite tell what. The problems don't stop at appearance. Without proper installation like a compacted base and landscape fabric, gravel begins to shift and sink into the soil after a few rains. Weeds start pushing through, edges blur, and that neat look turns into constant maintenance. And even when installed correctly, too much gravel without structure makes the space less comfortable to walk and sit in. What works far better is using gravel as part of a layered design. Frame it with edging, break it up with stepping stones or large pavers, and combine it with planted areas or ground cover. When you give gravel a clear role instead of letting it dominate everything, the entire space feels more balanced, functional, and complete. Patio mistake number 7 is the single floodlight lighting setup. One bright light mounted to the back of the house blasting the entire patio from a single angle. It feels practical, and in terms of visibility, it does the job. But when it comes to actually enjoying your space, it works against you. The light is harsh, it creates strong shadows, and it flattens everything visually. Instead of feeling warm and inviting, your patio ends up looking overexposed and uncomfortable, more like a security zone than a place you'd want to sit and relax in the evening. And this is where most people quietly stop using their outdoor space after dark without even realizing why. The lighting doesn't feel good, so they just head back inside. What works better is layered lighting that spreads warmth and depth across the space. Overhead string lights to define the area, low pathway lights to guide movement, and softer accent lighting like lanterns or solar stakes to create a relaxed atmosphere. You don't need to remove the floodlight, you just need to balance it, because once your lighting feels right, your patio doesn't just look better at night, it actually gets used. Patio mistake number 8 is fully matching. Color-heavy cushions and outdoor textiles. Bright colors, bold patterns, trendy palettes, they grab your attention instantly and make a space feel exciting at first. But that's exactly the problem. These choices are tied to a specific moment in time, and outdoor conditions don't do them any favors. Constant sun exposure fades them quickly, and within a season or two what once looked vibrant starts to feel dated and worn. Because trends move fast, but outdoor pieces don't. What you're left with is a patio that feels stuck in the past, even if everything else is still in good shape. A better approach is building your space around a neutral base, tones that don't compete for attention and don't go out of style. Think warm natural shades paired with texture from materials like wood, wicker or stone. Then if you want to introduce color, you do it in small, replaceable accents instead of committing your entire setup to it. It's more flexible, easier to maintain, and it keeps your patio looking fresh without needing a full refresh every couple of years. Patio mistake number 9 is the unshaded, weather-dependent patio. This is one of those mistakes that doesn't feel like a mistake at first because everything looks fine when the weather is perfect. The furniture is in place, the layout looks clean, and in that ideal moment, the space feels exactly like what you imagined. But the reality is, patios don't exist in perfect conditions. The moment the sun gets too harsh, or a bit of rain rolls in, the entire space becomes unusable. There's no shade to cool things down, no cover to extend the time you can sit outside, and suddenly your outdoor living area only works for a small window of the day. And that's where the real frustration builds over time. You start realizing you only use the space when everything is just right, which means most days, it just sits there unused while you stay indoors instead. What changes everything is adding basic weather protection that makes the space flexible. Shade sails, properly sized umbrellas, pergola covers, or even simple retractable canopies can completely extend how often you use the area. It's not about making it fancy, it's about making it usable, because once your patio stops depending on perfect weather, it stops feeling like decoration and starts feeling like part of your actual home. Patio mistake number 10 is the fragmented, isolation-style backyard layout. This is what happens when a patio gets divided into too many separate zones that don't really connect with each other. You'll see it a lot. One corner for a lounge chair, another for a fire pit, a small isolated dining setup somewhere else, maybe even a hidden relaxation nook off to the side. On paper it sounds like you're creating options and flexibility, but in reality, it often breaks the yard into pieces that don't feel like they belong together, and none of them end up feeling like the main place to actually spend time. The issue is that people don't naturally move between disconnected spaces outdoors the way they expect to. Instead of one inviting shared environment, you get multiple underused pockets that each feel slightly incomplete. Over time that leads to a strange effect where the yard looks busy but doesn't feel alive. What works better now is building around a central gathering zone that everything else supports. One strong focal area, flexible seating that can shift depending on how many people are around, and clear flow that pulls you toward the same space. Because when a patio feels unified, it stops feeling like a collection of ideas and starts feeling like a place people actually want to stay. And there you have it, 10 backyard patio features that looked like great ideas at the time, but slowly turn into the exact things that make your outdoor space feel harder to use, harder to maintain, and less enjoyable than you expected. And the interesting part is, most of these don't look like mistakes at first. They look clean, modern, expensive even. It's only after a few seasons of real use, weather changes, and everyday living that the problems start to show. If you found yourself nodding at even a couple of these, it's probably not because your patio is bad. It's because it was built on choices that don't always age well in real life. The encouraging part is that none of this means you need a full redesign or a big budget to fix things. Most patios can be completely transformed just by changing how space is used, how materials are layered, and how the environment is broken up visually and functionally. A better layout, softer lighting, more intentional seating, or simply reducing cluttered design choices can shift everything without tearing anything down. The goal isn't perfection, it's usability. A space you actually walk into without thinking twice. So if this helped you see your backyard differently, take that as your starting point. Like the video if it gave you value. Subscribe to Timeless Gardening for more practical outdoor ideas. And before you click away, think about this. What's one thing in your own patio you could change this weekend that would make you use it more often?